virtual scrolling. Why is this so popular way to read these kind of novels?
In the webcomics, we don't have the frame or cut for the visualized story. It's endless, seamless, connected between the scenes.
Almost like you're watching a movie?
Yes, it feels like a movie.
Korea is the birthplace of webcomics. Virtual scrolling is a must, and the format has revolutionized the world of comics. The new platform, Manta, has quickly taken over the webcomic world. Armed with the wealth of content from its parent company, RIDI, a global leader in ebooks, it has already made a splash in the global market with its first global bestseller, Under the Oak Tree. Our globalist today is Manta CEO Kim Tae-hoon to talk about the exciting world of webcomics and why you need to subscribe to his platform. Welcome to The Globalist.
Thanks for having me here.
Not all tales end with happily ever after. But this love is worth the suffering.
Now, that Under the Oak Tree, I saw the billboard on Times Square in New York. You know, it invites the global readers, and I guess the American readers, to join your platform. How popular was Under the Oak Tree?
So Under the Oak Tree is based on a web novel, and in the romance fantasy, people say there are two types of people who have read Under the Oak Tree or haven't yet, just yet. So it's kind of a textbook of the romantic and fantasy novel. Yeah, as a webcomics, it hit the 100 million views on Manta for the webcomic format.
100 million views.
Yes, and also in Japan, within 30 days after its launch, it recorded 10 million views, recording the 25 billion won in sales as well.
So what is Under the Oak Tree about?
It's a story based on a romance fantasy, and it's with the background of a fictional medieval fantasy world, and it's about the almost abandoned girl, and she's married to a knight. That makes her life so different, and changing their lives from an unexpected event, and it's all enriching our readers to be part of the story.
This tale begins with a wedding, but by the time I opened my eyes, my dashing knight was off to war. 3 long years, I anguished. I was abused. I learned to hate myself. What becomes of a heart locked away so long that it can never love again? It becomes a prison wherever you go.
In the world of Under the Oak Tree, 2 desperate souls, one fighting to feel loved, the other fighting for love. Discover so much more.
Well, it sounds like the typical romance story. It's like, she's married to someone she doesn't like, but then ultimately falls in love, all of that kind of thing. Romance novels were always popular. Women always, around the world loved romance novels. But in terms of comics, is this a normal, a popular attraction, web comics?
Yes, and it's one of the huge and stickiest markets in webcomics in terms of the genre, because it can be visualized going into the fantasy world from a reader's perspective, and it's art, and it's not only just story, and it's combined by artwork and then storytelling.
Other attraction seems to be that you can read it on your cell phone. It's that virtual scrolling that is the basis of webcomics. Why is this is a popular way to read these kind of novels?
So in the traditional comics, including the manga in Japan, manhwa in Korea, they are framed in a cut, and multiple cuts in a page are visualized for the stories in there within the frame. But in the webcomics frame, we provide for the readers. We don't have the frame or cut for the visualized story. It's endless, seamless. There's no limit of expression of the visualized story, and it's connected between the scenes.
Almost like you're watching a movie?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. And then you can,
that's true.
if you keep scrolling, still if the scenes are far each other, it feels like it pauses the moment. So it feels like a movie though.
So it tells a story in a pace that you like. And it seems to be very, very popular in Korea, but what about outside of Korea?
It's becoming popular outside Korea. Specifically, we are serving the readers, webcomic readers in the States. Half of our Manta users are based in the States.
Oh.
And
that was where the 2021, that was that launch of Under the Oak Tree?
Yes. We launched the Manta platform in 2020, but we built up our users and filled in our titles, including the Under the Oak Trees, after a couple of years, and then we have a solid user group after that.
How many people in the U.S. have read Under the Oak Tree?
The views on Manta has been more than 100 million views.
100 in
Yes.
the U.S.?
Yes.
Wow. And so among your U.S. subscribers, Under the Oak Tree is currently number one?
Yes, absolute number one.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
In addition to your Times Square billboard, what other marketing techniques do you use to get people to be aware that there is such a subscription service?
So we've done some offlines and onlines both. I can say as an example, for the offline one, we participated in San Diego Comic-Con in 2021. We set up a standalone booth to connect with the comic fans in the States, and we were able to introduce our title Under the Oak Tree without being hindered by the unfamiliar format for them to read, because it was new to them to read in that format. But in terms of understanding what type of work it is and what kind of story it is, we were able to meet up with the comic fans, and then it was a big momentum to introduce our title in person to the comic fans.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Kingdom of Mnata for Under the Oak Tree.
Virtually, we had a big TikTok challenge One of the main characters, Riftan, a male character, we had a themed branded filters tailored to the play style for the TikTokers, and then we had 9 billion
9
views.
billion
Yeah.
views. So that's huge. You talked about the fact that webcomic is still not that well known in the U.S. market. Do you see it growing? What is the potential?
We define our potential customers to enjoy our works in the webcomic format. For those who have experienced the Marvel comic, DC, or even the Disney or DreamWorks, Pixar, any type of animated and visualized storytelling works, we see that is our potential market. While we have only, I would say, 25% of those customer segments are fulfilled and experienced our webcomic format, including ourselves and other platforms that provides the webcomic format in the States.
So do you see very soon the possibility that webcomics is the way that most Americans or most people outside of Korea will enjoy comics?
Yes, that's our mission.
Oh, really? Okay. Talking about the content, so you have to have a lot of content in order to be able to provide a subscription service. Is your relationship with RIDI one of those strengths that allows you to do this kind of subscription service?
So RIDI, I would say parent company for Manta, has its own in-house studio, the webcomics studio. Generally, talented creators should handle all types of functions, including story planning, writing, line drawing, coloring, background designing, editing, and so on their own. Maybe they have a lot of assistants around the author or creator. While we have in our webcomic studio, we have expert employees in each area. So we have PD for the story planning.
Yeah.
We have writers. We have line drawers. We have a designer for the background. We have editors.
첫 번째로 글 콘티를 작성하는데요. 그리고 그 다음에는 글 콘티를 바탕으로 이제 그림 콘티를 작성해요. 그 다음에 그림 콘티에 맞춰서 배경을 배치를 하는데 캐릭터의 스케치를 하고 선화 작업을 합니다. 선화가 완성되면 본격적으로 채색이 들어가는데 이제 그림자와 하이라이트를 추가해서 색조를 보다 풍부하게 만들고요. 마지막으로 대사와 말풍선을 추가하면서 이제 만화의 한 컷이 완성된다고 보시면 됩니다.
So we collaboratively make one title as a team. And we have one of the biggest studios in the industry in our own forcing driver. On top of our titles, we already have. We have a lot of relationship and CPs, the content providers that support us to launch for our customers on our platform at Manta.
So who are these content providers?
There are numerous content providers. They have a lot of authors and creators within their studios and their contractual-based authors within their network, and then they deal with the contract with us to buy their titles from the authors that they are connected.
Oh, I see. So you have a very wide
Yes.
range of people that will provide content for Manta.
Having our own in-house studios is kind of a unique point that we can have our own control to serve our readers better in terms of storytelling, direction, and taste of our webcomics. What type of stories are trending these days? We can manage our own studio to serve better the customers while we are open to any type of authors and creators if they are giving the values to the readers that we have, including the local ones in the States as well.
If you disturb my wife, I'll kill you.
Oh my God. Quite strict. You're quite a mystery, aren't you? No, he just hides his face. You're good. Swish!
부서지는 저 달빛이 더 차가워진 이 밤이
I'll be with you till the end of eternity. I will be your rolling star, shine on you like morning star.
Okay, so the husband enters.
Ooh, okay. I mean, it's like half his face. It's already good looking.
He's hot.
How does one look so hot with half of his face being... Okay, anyways.
People wanting to read webcomics on Manta have subscribed, while other webcomic platforms pay by episode. Why did Manta choose this kind of format?
First of all, we wanted to address the price concerns of the majority of the readers of webcomics, which is new to them. And we wanted them to freely explore the webcomic contents that Manta provides. Eventually, our goal was just to have better environment for the webcomic readers to enjoy unlimited titles that we have. And it's one of the cheapest way to enjoy the titles.
From a reader's point of view, definitely.
Exactly. But in other countries, though, some are not used to the subscription model. In some industries, they are, but the others they are not. So we are thinking of a way that, different strategy for different regions. But nothing's come from yet, and we are still deciding.
Well, interesting to see where it will head. You talk about how you source your content from your own and then from other content providers and things like that. In terms of gathering this kind of content, are you all worried that there's a limit to how much you can find? Is it going to dry up? I mean, at some point, people say the story is a story is a story. It comes down to the same story everywhere.
I don't think there's a limit in human beings' imagination. So although we have limited storylines or cliches that people love for now, but the interesting thing in the content industry here is that we don't know the formula. We don't know what content, what title will be heating up the market. The content industry is unlimited, I believe, and it's not limited within the existing storytelling format.
And is the popularity of K-culture helping you? Is that something that helps Manta grow?
Yes. The customer segments are kind of common. We are sharing similar ages and the gender as well. Most of the female 20 through 40, they love the K-pop, for example, and they are more flexible to the new content and new format to digest and enjoy. So I think that's helpful, and that's the dynamic reaction that we see from our business in the States, actually.
Are you going to turn Under the Oak Tree into something else? A movie?
Yes.
A TV series?
Yes. There are a lot of confidential projects that we are running now, but I can say we have the paper book that we are planning to publish.
Going back to old school, huh?
Yes, so that we can draw and make the paper book fans experience the webcomic format eventually, so that we can make more people to enjoy our format.
I heard that though, you talked about making a book out of Under the Oak Tree, but there's also, I heard that you are making a webcomic out of existing movies as well, that you are using your know-how to introduce to a webcomic audience. What are some of the examples and why are you doing that?
So we still strongly believe that we don't block our idea to have our storytelling within a specific format. So For example, the Spaha.
이 땅에 탁한 기운을 가진 마군들이 81개가 태어난다고 예언되어 있습니다.
강원도 본부를 조사하다가 우연히 발견된 불교계 신흥종교입니다.
이런 걸 모시는 신흥단체 본 적 있으세요?
To elaborate more, we tested different scenarios. One with the original story and flow of the movie, the other one with totally different types of flow that makes more fit for the characteristic of the webcomics. And then we tested, and then we did some more various attempts to make the story more fitable to the webcomic format. And then we got a lot of positive reviews on that.
So is the final product more like the movie, or is it more adapted to a web?
It's combined. So we wanted to remain the essence of the original story to make the story still moving people and giving the same message while utilizing the strengths of the format to deliver the message better for the webcomic users.
사람들은 말했다. 오래 살지 못할 거라고. 하지만 그 말은 틀렸다.
진짜 있을까?
I think this murder could be related to my case.
They killed a child. Look how small the hand is.
So the people who've actually enjoyed watching the movie Saba can now subscribe to Manta and then also enjoy Saba as a web comic.
That's the core expansion of the content industry, that we can share the customers and the readers crossing over, different formats of the content.
Looking forward for Manta, how do you see the growth of Manta in the years to come? In which direction? And if we were to invite you back in 5 years, what would you be talking about?
I will be talking about how we've founded to expand to serve better prevailing customers who love the existing romance fantasy, and what type of new style within the genre we created and then made them enjoy it. Besides that, the key will be what type of format we will be adding on the webcomics. It could be outside webcomics. It could be different genres within webcomics.
All of the above?
Yeah, all of the above. It's unlimited. That's the potential of the content industry, and that's what the investors are betting on us.
Well, we shall see. When we invite you back in 5 years, you will let us know then where you have been best successful. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that's it for me. I will be back next week with another globalist who is putting Korea on the map. Sun Jie out.